Hey guys, Don here. I want to give you the Podiatry Practice Mastery Week in Review. Basically what's happening in our office is we are opening a second office in a neighboring city. It'll be opening up in April, and we're kind of getting out the ads in the newspaper. And the whole issue right now is they wanted us to just put an ad out saying, you know, we're the best, we're the leaders in podiatry, and nothing that's direct response. And for those of you that aren't familiar with direct response, what most people want to do is just have a nice ad with their name, and they don't want to have any way of tracking it, and they don't want to really have any personality in it. They want it to look like everyone else, just a big, beautiful ad thinking that people come in just because now we're in a new city. And that's not what really works for people. And this I learned from Dan Kennedy, and if you're interested, he's got this good course called Magnetic Marketing. And what we're doing now is we are trying to alter that ad, and I have a couple of thoughts, and I'd like to get your feedback, certainly, if you have any thoughts on this. One thought is to offer, basically, instead of saying we're the best, saying, you know, are you suffering with foot or ankle pain in Westboro? And that's kind of the initial one, and then we can say, you know, we're a new doctor, a new office. But then the main call to action would be offering them for a limited time a free gift, and say like while supplies last. That's the thought. And what the free gift is would be either like a water bottle or a pair of socks that we have. We have these anyway, and we give them out. And I think we're going to get some bottle openers or something else like that. But this is a way to get some foot traffic into the office, and it's a way of having people either call up, but mainly we want them to show up in the office. And so we could say for a limited time, or for the first 100 people that come in, we have a free gift for you just for coming by and saying hi and introducing yourself. And that's kind of the whole idea of a direct response versus this is me, no one really cares about me. They really want a problem fixed. And so when they come in for that free gift, then we can give them one of our brochures, we can be nice to them, get to know them, and things like that. So that's what's happening on the second office front. The other things that happened within like our practice management throughout this week is I was able to do an interview with a local physical therapist, and he has 6 physical therapists, and he's really interested in marketing as well. So he's read all the Dan Kennedy books. I don't know if you're familiar with Dan Kennedy. He that's the same guy I just talked about, but he has a lot of books on marketing, about being efficient. There's really good ones on efficiency and getting rid of the time vampires in life. And we had a really nice talk about how to grow your business, and what he is doing is he is writing a book, and that's what a lot of people recommend. Now, I want to be frank, my struggle has always been is how the heck do I get rid of that book that I wrote and kind of make it in a good way. I know there's a couple of friends. I was talking to Lorcan before, and he has it as an opt-in on his webpage, so people go in, they put their name, email, and phone number, and then he will send them the actual physical book. And that's a great way. I tend to give it out to patients, but I haven't been giving out as many. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm being a penny pincher, because each one costs maybe $3 or so to print it. And if you want to kind of know that whole process, just reach out to me. It's pretty easy. You can do it on Fiverr. There's a nice a lot of people there that they can just lay it out for you. You kind of write it, or you can even transcribe it if you want to. You could transcribe it on Otter.io, which I'm using right now to transcribe this. And what you'll do is it'll put it on Amazon. And it's not to have it on Amazon, but it's mostly because then you can print it from there. Or you can send it to any other printer for that matter. And then you get these books printed, and then you can use them. But I always had a struggle, and I'm still struggling, with how to really use those. And a couple of my thoughts are to make what Dan Kennedy calls a shock and awe package. And basically my whole goal and my main motive for this is to get more referring doctors. And like a referring doctor is a gift that keeps on giving. And getting them to refer more patients, I think if I can get one patient to refer a few, that's great, but if I can get new doctors. And so my current workflow is when I see a new doctor's name come through on a letter that I'm doing to them, I'll send them a thank you card, a handwritten thank you card. Now that's worked in terms of taking up my time. It's worked in terms of, I have a nice system down. My staff prints the label. I do the card. But it really hasn't worked in terms of results. I want to be very frank. And that's frustrating. And so what I'm going to try to do now is adding another step to it in this written card, kind of say, hey, I want to give you a special gift, for example, or something else, and then follow up with them, or I put my email in there or my card with my email and ask them to email me back what their shoe size is, for example. And then I will send them kind of that shock and awe package, which would be basically a pair of socks, a water bottle, my books, and like a coupon for one of these local shoe stores that we refer to. That's my initial thought. I don't know if anyone else is doing these shock and awe packages, but that's what I got from Sean's interview, where we were talking about doing different types of marketing and the difference between just getting your name out there and then actually having some direct response. So that was a fun interview. It got my kind of creative juices going, and enjoyed that. And then finally, I was helping someone recently with Athena. Athena is our medical record. And for some reason, I tend to get asked all these questions about doing medical, like if it's the right medical record. And I like Athena, and he had a few good questions for me I'd like to go through in terms of our medical record. Most of them are kind of a beautiful front end to a billing company, right? And that's what Athena is. And they charge you a percentage, which I'm really upset because they make so much off of us. But it's a really good system, so I really like Athena. We've been using it for a number of years now. We've tried a couple of other ones like Lytech MD and other programs before. But specifically with Athena, what I've figured out how to do is there's a neat way you can, if a patient hasn't come in a year and there's no appointment scheduled, it'll send them an email. And it's kind of a neat system because it automatically follows up with them. I was struggling with a way of doing that. Like if someone, let's say they don't have an appointment or they haven't been seen, this is a way to constantly keep in front of patients and have them coming back in. So if you want that video, you go to my YouTube pages, and I have a playlist on my YouTube on Athena, and it's one of those in my playlist. And it explains how to do that. I think other medical records have that, but that was kind of a big aha moment. And so what it does is, like today, it would send the email from people a year ago if they don't have any follow-up appointment. So that was kind of a fun thing to do. And I talked to this gentleman about this. And then he was mentioning to me about a 20 group. I don't know if anyone here has heard about a 20 group. This is something that's done within car dealerships. So he used to be, I think, a car salesman. And, by the way, he listens to the interviews that I do, but he didn't know about this podcast. So if you're on the podcast, you don't know, I also do interviews. They're all on podiatry.com and under the practice management section where the interviews are. And for those that are there, I also do this podcast. And for him specifically, he was in this 20 group, and I have one other friend that's in my mastermind. He was in a 20 group. What this is, it's where 20 car dealers get together, they share numbers, and they try to help each other get better. And another word might be like a mastermind group or a peer group, and that's something that I would like to create amongst podiatry. I think it would have to have some type of a facilitator to do it. And you probably have to have a cost for it and a location. But usually in these 20 groups, you get together every 3 months and you go over your numbers, what's working, what's not working. Usually you bring in a speaker to teach something, and you do that for a couple of days. If anyone is interested in being part of something like that, let me know, because if there's enough interest, if we have like 10 people, we could kind of find a destination and meet, every 3 months. But I want to see if there's interest first in this before I kind of create it. But I know there are other groups that do something similar, but this is kind of a neat way of kind of getting together, have some education component, get someone to come in and speak, have a facilitator that's used to doing these things, and then there would be whatever the I don't know if it's a one-time fee or whatever. We'll figure that out. But I just want to know if someone's interested. So if you are, send me an email at don@podiatrypracticemastery.com. And if there's enough people, I will let you guys know. So that was the kind of the week in review. Okay, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye.